Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I'm your host, Josh Davis, also known as Crash. Today is Friday, February 24th, 2023, and I am joined with the one and only Mrs. Deb Lutz, aka Deluxe. Deb, how have you been? I know it's been a while since we've done a podcast together, since we've had NBA to talk about, so it's really nice to NBA basketball on a Friday night again. So
I spent the past couple of days sick and starting to look at baseball.
okay.
But hoping I can get through the podcast today. Thanks for joining me. So
For sure.
Make things a little bit easier on my voice. But I'm super excited to get back in. I dabbled a little bit last night, sort of woke up out of a sleepy fog and took a look and played a couple of lineups and I did cash. So I was pretty happy about that. I mean, it was,
Yeah, you did very well. Tyrese Halliburton, he really played, much better than I expected him to against that Boston defense. That's for sure.
He did, and low owned too. So yeah. I was pretty happy. I was actually really happy going into the final games of the night, but then that overtime game.
Yeah.
Did you lose me there? Yeah, kind of took me out of some of it, but.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was fun to get back in, and now ready to get at it tonight. It's a nice little lineup tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited about this slate. I really like it. There's a lot of plays that I like too. So if you're new to the channel, if you would hit the like button and then hit subscribe. And after you've done those two things, if you would hit the alarm bell, that will let you know when our newest podcast has gone live. If you're new to DFS Coach Talk, we would love to have you join us. You can join us now for as low as $3 for 3 days. So we definitely would love to have you. We're very encouraging, very family friendly, just really like a family in a lot of ways at DFS Coach Talk. So we would love to have you join us. So we've got an 8-game slate tonight, Deb. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to start out with the New York Knicks at the Washington Wizards. It starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. New York is favored by 1.5. It has a 225 over under. For the Knicks, Mitchell Robinson is questionable. I'm checking to see if there's any update on that. No, so looks like he's questionable, so I don't know if he's going to play. And then Bradley Beal was removed off the injury report, so he is going to play. And Evan Fournier is out for the Knicks. So we have a projected starting lineup of Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Jericho Sims for the Knicks. And then for the Wizards, Monte Morris, Bradley Beal, Kyle Kuzma, Kristaps Porzingis, and Daniel Gafford. So anyone in this game that stands out to you as a top play on this slate?
It's not one of my favorite games, kind of a little bit on the lower scoring side. The only thing that keeps it interesting is the spread's only 2. I was really hoping Bradley Beal was going to be out, and then I was eyeing Kuzma.
Right.
With the pricing being as it is, probably less likely to go to Kuzma. Same thing with Avdija or Wright because Beal's in. So, I'm not too excited. Jalen Brunson's always a good play in my mind. Mm-hmm. And Barrett, I haven't taken a look at Barrett's pricing, but Barrett's pretty inexpensive. I might look at him in a GPP. Let's see, where's his pricing? Brunson's highest owned, right? And Barrett's at 6,100 on FanDuel. And on DK, he's, let's see where he is on DK. I think he was even less on DK. Yeah, 5,700. So he's attractive to me on DK. I'd probably say, Kuzma, Barrett, and potentially Brunson, but not going after any of the lower price guys in this game. And I don't love it overall. I'd be surprised if I walk away with more than one player in this game.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely not my favorite game on the slate. Like you said, with Bradley Beal being in the lineup, that hurts, the Wizards too, with Kuzma, because I was looking at him too. He's had some pretty nice games against the Knicks. And the other thing, and this is just kind of a nugget more than a DFS play, but Josh Hart had his best game of his career against the Wizards last year on March 12th. He had 72.5 DraftKings points, the most career. by 15. The second most was 57. So
Wow.
he had a career game last time he faced the Wizards. So obviously, I don't think he's going to do that again. He is
And why not? It's Heart Night.
It would be crazy if he did. But I do think that his morale is way up playing with Jalen Brunson. You know, they played together at Villanova.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really good fit for him for sure.
I think it's a great call. He is, I think he's a great fit for this team. Bringing him on was brilliant. I think he'll get a decent number of minutes off the bench and playing against the Wizards. Defensively, I think that'll really come to bear. And honestly, like, he's 5,800, but he's 0.1%. I absolutely love that call.
0.1%. Wow.
0.1% ownership.
Yeah, so we'll definitely lock him in, especially in the GPPs, of course.
And our two brains are better than one.
And our two brains are better than one for sure. Absolutely. So we'll have to remember him when we get to the end here, because there's a lot of games to go over. So the next game is the Cleveland Cavaliers at the Atlanta Hawks. It starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. The Hawks are favored by 1. It has a 227.5 over under. Chetty Osman is questionable for the Cavs, and John Collins is out for the Hawks. For the Cavs, their projected starting lineup is Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Isaac Okoro, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen. For the Hawks, Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, DeAndre Hunter. Their recently acquired Saddiq Bey with Collins out, and Clint Capella. This game for me is not one of my favorites either. I do like Evan Mobley. I think he's in a pretty good spot. He's 7,300 on DraftKings, 7,400 on FanDuel, $35 on Yahoo. Atlanta has allowed the second most fantasy points to power forwards this year, and I just don't think Saddiq Bey is going to be able to stop him. So I do like Evan Mobley. Not really anybody else that I have in this game. What about for you?
Yeah, I like Mobley as well. I wasn't real high on this one either. I was kind of surprised that Atlanta's favored in this game, to be honest.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. But I do like Mobley. I agree with you. I mean, I have a little bit of love for Garland just because Trae Young's defense is so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that I'm actually really going to target here, I think it could be a little sneaky on play, is Okongwu. With the two bigs on Cleveland, they're going to need his size.
Right.
And so I think he's going to get a bit of a run. He's been, with Capella back, he's really been relegated to like 20 minutes a game. I think he gets closer to 25 here, and I think he can break. He's 4,100 on DK. I think he can bust through that.
Yeah, I like that call a lot because with Mobley, Saddiq Bey is just going to get overpowered. So I definitely like that call. I was thinking the same thing, that Okongwu would probably get a lot of run tonight. So
cool.
I like that.
And he's another one that he's, on FanDuel. Now he's 5,600 on FanDuel, but 0.1% ownership. But it is a little bit pricey. But like I said, he's 4,100 on DK and only 0.9% ownership. So to me, that's another lock and load.
Yeah, for sure. That ownership is very surprising to me, but we'll see as we get closer to lock if anything changes. But I mean, I really don't think it will. There's not any injury news or anything that we're waiting on in that game, so that's pretty surprising. So hopefully we'll get him at very low ownership. Next game we have also at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. My Milwaukee Bucks hosting the Miami Heat. Milwaukee is favored by 3, even without Giannis. That's pretty surprising to me. 220.5 over under. Miami's won 2 out of 3 matchups this year against the Bucks. The 2 they won were without Giannis, so I think they can win this game tonight. I'm not saying that they will necessarily, but I definitely think they could. Now they do have Kyle Lowry still out for them. Of course, Jovic and Yurtseven are out. And then for the Bucks, besides Giannis, Connaughton, I think he's going to be out. They have him as a game time decision, but I don't think he's going to play. And then Wesley Matthews is out. So for the Heat, you've got Gabe Vincent, Tyler Hero, Caleb Martin, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. And then for the Bucks, Drew Holiday, Grayson Allen, Chris Middleton. Giannis is doubtful. I don't think he's going to play. I think Bobby Portis will start, and then Brook Lopez. So Um, there's some value here on the Heat side that I like. I also think Bam could be in a decent spot without Giannis. He's
Yeah.
averaged around 46 DraftKings points against Milwaukee this year. Whether Giannis has played or not, but I do think that he could have a better game without Giannis in there. And then Tyler Hero has had some pretty nice games in Milwaukee. I don't know if you know this, but he's from Milwaukee. He's from Greenfield,
Nice.
and he seems to play pretty well when he goes to Milwaukee. And then we have Gabe Vincent, who last time I touted him, and he didn't do anything, but he's averaged 37 DraftKings points his last 4 games against Milwaukee, and Kyle Lowry is out. So I do think it's a good spot for Vincent. If I remember,
you're going to go back to him, huh? You don't think he's regressing to the mean?
Yeah, well, I think if I remember right, I think he came off the bench the last time they played.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes a difference.
And then Caleb Martin is another guy that's had some good numbers. 35.9 DraftKings points his last 4 games against the Bucks. He had 32.3 on February 4th, priced at 4,300 on DraftKings, 5,400 on FanDuel. Though I'm probably not going to go there, and then $15 on Yahoo. So that's the Heat for me. For you, who do you like the most?
On the Heat, I'm pretty similar to you, minus the Vincent. I do like Bam and Hero the best. I'm just not sure how much I want to spend on this game. It's a real low score at 219.
Yeah.
So, those guys are kind of pricey. You have Butler as well, who's going to get his. So I think I feel most confident about the Bam play versus Hero for that matter. But I think it's. Of course, if you have Hero up against Grayson Allen, that's a big advantage. So
for sure, yeah, that's definitely one that's killed them. Then on the Bucks side, without Giannis, you can play several different people, but the two
Bobby Portis is back.
that I'm honing in on are Bobby Portis, one, Chris Middleton, and then I do like the revenge narrative a little bit with Jay Crowder, depending on how many minutes he gets. But with Pat Connaughton out, I would think that Crowder will get a decent amount of minutes. I'm not sure if they're going to try and put him on Butler, if they're going to put Drew Holiday on Butler. Last time, Holiday wasn't even on Butler when he went off, so maybe they put Holiday on Butler tonight. But
that would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Putting, I guess a combination of Crowder and Portis on Butler, right?
Yeah, they didn't have Portis last time they played, so that's true. They could use him. They could even use Chris Middleton, and I don't think he played very much last time either. So they have a lot of different options, to guard Butler. So, but Portis. Going back to the Bucks plays, Portis and Middleton would probably be the main two that I like the most. Middleton's back in the starting lineup, and now that they've had another week off, I think that he's going to be close to his full, extended minutes. So
I definitely. I'm not sure about Portis. He's been off for a while, first game back, so I'm probably his price has not come down. It's right where it was when he was. Having those.
Yeah, he's 6,400 on FanDuel, but he's 76 on DraftKings. So
crazy, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty high for me. I'm probably going to stay away. I do like Chris Middleton. I think he's really solid. He was, if he gets 30 plus minutes, he's good for 35 plus points. So I think he's 6,000 on FanDuel. DK. Don't recall, but so I have them on for DK. I think it's about 6,000 on each, actually. So I really like that call, and then I think I wouldn't mind Drew Holiday either. Particularly on FanDuel, I think he's priced a little bit more fairly at 8,000.
Yeah, well, my thing with Drew Holiday is he's in a pool of about 6 guys in the same price range.
I don't
know if I'm going to end up going to him or not. And then the guy that's really not played well at all against Miami is Brook Lopez. And I say that, and he'll probably have another. He's got 50 plus DraftKings points in 2 of his last 3 games. He's been playing
unreal.
But he's been around the 20s when he's played against Miami. So
I think the Bam matchup's a tough one for him.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. But the dude's been playing unbelievable, like he's never played since he's been in Milwaukee, really. So
You think Giannis plays? He just got upgraded.
Did he really?
He got upgraded to questionable.
Wow.
Huh.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. The dude's a freaking alien.
Seriously.
I mean,
if he plays, that takes it takes a lot out of the mix for me. It really makes me not like this game. Maybe Chris Middleton, but that might be it.
Yeah, it would definitely change a lot. I mean, it was a pretty close game the last time they played. But as far as DFS, though, I mean, it's just all the usage is going to go to him. So, yeah, that would. I mean, I remember, not to bring up an old wound or anything like that by any means, but when he had that injury against the Suns in the finals, I thought he was going to be out for months, and he came back and played the next game. So that
guy's unreal. He's unreal. He really is.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be.
He was not looking at the All-Star game this weekend. He wasn't looking very injured.
No, I wouldn't be shocked at all if he's been upgraded to questionable if he plays. But anyway, we can move on. 8 p.m. Eastern, the Brooklyn Nets at the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls are favored by 2, 222.5. All these games have low over-unders, 222.5. These first games, I mean. Ben Simmons is unlikely to play, I believe, or questionable. And then Goran Dragic is also, I thought he was out. They rule him questionable. Yeah, he's questionable. And then Javonte Green is still out. So we have for the Nets, Spencer Dinwiddie, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Nicholas Claxton. And then for the Bulls, Ayo Dosunmu, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Patrick Williams, and Nikola Vucevic. I do like the Bridges call. I noticed you put him on the thumbnail today. I think that's a solid play. Yep. He's averaged 38.6 DraftKings points his last 10 games. The Bulls have allowed the 10th most fantasy points to shooting guards. I think that he's going to be trouble for LaVine, and on the flip side, LaVine's going to have trouble stopping him. So I do like Bridges. I also like Spencer Dinwiddie. He's had 47.9 DraftKings points in his 2 games against the Bulls this year, had 48.8 against them on February 9th. He's a little bit cheaper than Bridges. And then I don't really like anybody on the Bulls side. I think that they have some tough matchups. Finney-Smith is a pretty good defender against DeRozan, Bridges against LaVine, and then Claxton against Vucevic. So I think they're, match up pretty well defensively against the Bulls. So I wouldn't be surprised if Brooklyn wins this game, honestly.
Yeah, it's a good call on DFS on DeRozan, because I was thinking that he was the guy on Chicago who I liked. I mean, his price has come way down. He's at 7,800 on DraftKings. So I do kind of still like him there. I mean, they need scoring from somewhere, and maybe that's why it's funny. All of a sudden, Brooklyn's got like a strong defensive team. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. They do.
I thought this score total was a little bit low. I like the call on Dinwiddie. That's a good one. I hadn't really focused on that. Sounds like he's played real well against Chicago. I mean, Dosunmu is a little bit of a natty defender, but it's certainly a viable option. I like, like I said, I do like Bridges a lot, and his ownership's not that high. I mean, the ownership for this game overall is one of the lowest across the board. There's nobody more on any of the sites. Nobody more than 9%. So I think this game could be a little bit sneaky if you can pick the right guys. Aside from Bridges, I wouldn't mind Cam Johnson either. 5,200 on DraftKings and 5,400 on FanDuel. Again, pretty low ownership. He's been okay coming back. Kind of that 25 to 28 points per game. If he hits 30, he hits value, and I think he can do that against the Chicago defense. So I like Bridges and Cam. I also like Claxton. I mean, Luke is not a great defender.
Right.
He's just so so athletic. On DraftKings, again, he's only 6,400 on DraftKings, which is amazing. He's on FanDuel, he is 7,800. So that's a huge difference. And so I like him in that matchup. And so that's probably what I'm doing. Maybe DeRozan to play it back on the other side, or possibly Caruso because he's just at 3,300. But that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. What's interesting about the Bulls is they have actually allowed the 8th fewest fantasy points to centers. We talked about that with Vucevic a lot about his defense, which it's not great. But for whatever reason, centers have not had that big of games against the Bulls. So
that's a fascinating stat.
Yeah, because I was wrong Claxton too. Now, with that being said, Brooke Lopez did have that monster 54 DraftKings points the other day. So before the All-Star break. So, but yeah, they have in general, they've done pretty well against centers. But yeah, because I thought Claxton was going to be one of my favorite plays on the slate until I dug deeper. I still think Claxton is a good play. I do. I think when he's played against him in the past, he's only put up around 29, 30 DraftKings points. But, with Kevin Durant out of the lineup, it's been a lot different for Claxton for sure. So I do like Claxton. I was checking the chat to see any questions or anything, but it doesn't look like it's just some comments. Somebody said Quentin Grimes or bust. I think a little bit of a trap play after what happened at the Rising Stars game.
Exactly, right?
We haven't seen Grimes play like that, maybe ever. So I don't think that he's going to be a great play tonight, but he could be. Who knows? He could not. Bradley Beal is a pretty good defender. So yeah. Let's see. The next game is the Charlotte Hornets at the Minnesota Timberwolves at 8 p.m. Eastern. Minnesota's favored by 6.5. It has a 240.5 over under. Is that? Yeah, that's the highest. The highest.
Yeah.
So you've got Kelly Oubre. Looks like he is going to play.
That's a trap.
Yeah. And then Terry Rozier is also likely to play. So you've got both of those guys coming back. For the Timberwolves, Karl Anthony Towns, of course, he's still out. Taurean Prince is probably not going to even play that much anyway. With Kyle Anderson back, he's questionable. So for the Hornets, you've got LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington, Mark Williams. And then for the Timberwolves, Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Kyle Anderson, and Rudy Gobert. I know this game has a high over-under. I really don't have a whole lot of plays that I like in it. It's interesting, but
I know you and me both. I really struggle with this game with the over-under. I mean, matchups and pricing, it wasn't lending itself to looking for a lot.
Yeah, I mean, LaMelo Ball, he's been playing really well, but a lot of those guys have been out of the lineup, so his usage is going to come down a little bit, I think, offensively. And, I mean, Mike Conley, he's done pretty well in previous matchups against the Hornets, against LaMelo Ball. So, I mean, I don't really see a whole lot in this game that I like. We usually play centers against the Hornets, but Gobert's not the greatest offensive center by any means. I don't know if this is a smash spot necessarily. Gordon Hayward's actually had some really nice games against the Timberwolves, but those were
I think who's going to hurt his minutes though.
What's that?
I think Oubre is going to hurt his minutes.
Yeah, I think so too. And the other thing is, like I was saying, those were like 2 or 3 years ago because he had like his last 7 games, he's averaged 47 DraftKings points against Minnesota. So he's had some pretty nice games, but it's been a couple years on most of those. So probably not going to go to him.
The one guy I kind of like is over on the Charlotte side is actually PJ Washington, but he's like over 7K now, which
he is over 7. Yeah, I can't either. Mark Williams, I don't like him against Gobert. Do you like slow-mo at all?
I'm just not a slow-mo fan. Maybe because he's too boring, right?
Yeah.
No, really, I really don't. I mean, honestly, like the one guy I was thinking about, crazy enough, would be Conley. going up against LaMelo Ball.
Mhm.
He's taken over this team now. He's getting 32, 34 minutes.
Yeah.
If the game stays close, it's not an exciting play, but maybe something, kind of a nice mid-range price for a starter against a bad defense might just make
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Anthony Edwards is another guy that you could probably look at, but I have so much bad luck with him. It's like, he either goes off or he does almost nothing. It's just
Well,
up
he's
or down.
gotten so expensive.
He's gotten so expensive. That's the other thing. Yeah. So,
Rozier's defense is pretty good too.
yeah. Now, is this game getting a ton of ownership? I mean, I know the over-under is
Um,
highest, but
I think it was.
it looks like it is getting quite a bit on the
Yeah.
Minnesota side, especially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we've
Well,
got, and to your point, Slow-Mo, he's leading the pack on FanDuel with 38% ownership. Wow.
Wow.
Ant has 29%. See, I don't think at 9,400, I don't know. I don't love it.
For Edwards, yeah, I don't either. I don't love that either.
I'm going to stay away from that. And LaMelo Ball over 10K. There's too many guys on this slate. He's at 19% ownership. So, I mean, if Rozier is really healthy and gets his full minutes, 7,700 for Rozier is pretty fair.
Yeah.
And he's 7,400 on DraftKings. So, it's funny. Who was asking? King of Trades, McDaniel's family narrative in this game, but McDaniel's got traded? He's no longer on Charlotte, so you only have
he got traded to the Sixers, right?
Exactly. So now there's only one McDaniel. So no. And the center smash against Charlotte, yeah, but that was with Plumlee. I mean, I think Mark Williams and Nick Richards, a little bit different from their blockers and a little more athletic. So I think that's going to change a little bit. So yeah, I certainly wouldn't assume that Gobert is going to smash against this team.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point because I've played some centers against Charlotte lately, and they haven't been doing anywhere near what they were with Plumlee in there. So it's a really good point. I guess we can go ahead and take a break from the game breakdowns and go ahead and go over the ownership. We're pretty much at the halfway point on this slate.
Sure.
All right, so number one on DraftKings is Josh Christopher, 3,300, 48.6%. Then we have, like we were talking about, some of these Timberwolves. Rudy Gobert, 7,200, 33.1. Alperen Sengun, 7,500, 32.1. Anthony Edwards, 9,100, 31.9. Kyle Anderson, 5,100, 28.1. Tari Eason, 3,900, 26.2. Darius Garland, 7,700, 19.6. Kenyon Martin Jr., 5,400, 19%. Paul George, 8,200, 17.4. Evan Mobley, 7,300, 16.7. Mason Plumlee, 5,100, 16.5. And Josh Okogie, 5,200, 15.7. Any of those stand out to you?
Oh my God. As good plays or bad plays?
Either one.
This is on DraftKings, right?
Right, DraftKings, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sengun is interesting against Golden State, 7,500. I think somebody just reported that Green is now questionable. So
okay, that would
yeah. So you've got Looney back there, but then it's going to be probably Kuminga who's probably going to start, and some JaMychal Green backing up. So I like Sengun.
I'm not seeing that about Draymond. Where did you see that?
Somebody, I think it was in chat. Let's see. Draymond now questionable. Absolute Power. Where'd you see that, Absolute?
Yeah, I need to know that news because that could affect some things.
So Josh Christopher, yeah, I'm probably more likely to go after Ty Washington actually. If he starts.
You don't like. Yeah.
What's that?
I said who you don't like because I remember the one time I said I was going to play him and
exactly.
Are you serious?
Exactly. Yeah. You're joking about that. Yep. Now I'm back to Ty. I just like to say Ty. No, I think he's. You know what? I mean, the Golden State backcourt doesn't scare me. What I like about Washington over Christopher is he does a little bit more, assists, steals. Christopher is just a straight up shooter.
Yeah.
So, but either one of those wouldn't bother me. Kuminga's creeping in there, and it makes sense if he's going to be starting, absolutely, against Houston, for sure. I don't buy the Tari Eason until he was hot for a while, but until he comes back to that. Let's see who else.
Yeah.
So we like Middleton. Kevin Love, yeah, first game back, we'll see. I mean, he's only 3,000 in salary, but I don't think I'd put him in the top 10. So, and then what do you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's pretty much it, right?
Right.
KJ Martin. Yeah, I mean, he's solid, solid play. He's going to get 35 minutes. They need some, he's not the most offensive guy, but, they need rebounding, et cetera. So there's certainly value in this Houston team, for sure. I know we're going to go over that next, so we can talk a little bit about that, but.
Right. And then over on FanDuel, as you mentioned, Kyle Anderson is number 1 at 44.6. Then Josh Christopher at 43.2. Sengun at 34. Evan Mobley at 30.4. Jabari Smith, 5,600. Anthony Edwards, 29.1. Jalen Brunson, 27.5. Gordon Hayward, 26.7. Harrison Barnes at 23.9. Jayshawn Tate, 21.9. Mike Conley, 21.7. And Kenyon Martin Jr. again at 21.4. So which of those stands out to you as either a good or a bad play?
It's funny. So this is FanDuel you're looking at?
FanDuel, yeah.
My FanDuel ownership is different. It's weird.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Mine starts with Kuminga. And I've got Middleton third. So I like Holiday at 8,000 if if Giannis doesn't play. I think Kuminga, if he starts, again, I don't like Anthony Edwards, 9,400. The Mobley call's a good one, 7,400. I like that one. Jalen Brunson's gutsy at 8,400. I'd have 25% ownership. That's a pretty high price, but I'm not a fan. Hayward's burned me a lot, and I think his minutes are going to go down a little bit today, so not a fan there. I've got Josh Giddey in the list on mine at 20% ownership against Phoenix. I don't buy that one. And then Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes has gotten real cheap. He's 4,600 on FanDuel, and DK I think he's like 4,800.
Yeah.
He's going to have to play a lot of minutes to defend Kawhi. It's not crazy, if you want to, but I think there's a decent amount of value out there, so probably not going to go after that price point.
Yeah. My update says 33 minutes ago. What does yours say?
Oh yeah, 2 hours ago. So I'm behind.
Oh,
it's really changed a lot.
Well, that is crazy because Draymond Green wasn't real questionable until like 4 minutes ago. And
that is weird.
Even without that. So
that's weird. It's changed a lot. Actually, he's gone down now, Kuminga.
Yeah, he's gone down. That's what I was going to say. He's actually gone down, which makes it less
weird.
Yeah,
that is really weird.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, now I see. You're right. I just updated. I wasn't updated. That's crazy. Yeah, it changed around a lot.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what's the deal there, but yeah, Kuminga's like, I don't know, 15th or something, or 12th.
Weird.
So yeah. All right, then we have on Yahoo, Rudy Gobert, 67%, number 1. Okogie, 44.2. Sengun, 43.8. Anthony Edwards, 32.8. LaMelo Ball, 26.8. Darius Garland, 25.4. Tari Eason, 23.4. Klay Thompson, 20.2. Jayshawn Tate, 20. Jabari Smith, 19.4. Tied with him is Kyle Anderson at 19.4. Then Draymond Green, who, as we know, is questionable, 19.2. Kenyon Martin Jr., 18.2. Josh Christopher, 17.8. Devin Booker, 17.4. And Jordan Poole, 17.2. The Rudy Gobert ownership is insane to me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, 67.
I don't get it at all.
On an 8-game slate, I mean, that's crazy.
I'm looking to see, I was going to check right now and see who the other centers were. You know, Şengün is $6 higher, and his ownership's also 43%. But I don't know. I mean, you've got, let's see who you've got. I mean, you do have, I mean, the centers are priced high, so that might be why. Gobert may be seen as a value because Bam's 36, Ayton's 34, Sabonis is 41. They're pretty expensive.
Yeah, $21. Yeah, $21 is cheap. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, you might want to go to, actually, Okongwu is 17. I thought maybe he'd be less than that. So, you know, one sneaky guy, if Draymond is out, you're going to need JaMychal Green. He's at $10. Yeah. Yeah, centers are actually pretty expensive tonight.
It's true. Yeah, and Gobert is way underpriced. Yeah, that's very interesting. So the other value, I guess, would probably be, you said JaMychal Green.
I guess Mark Williams.
Landale been getting a lot of minutes? He hasn't, has he?
Who's that?
Landale. He hasn't been getting a lot of minutes.
No, he's really not.
Jalen
Williams.
Yeah, and Nick Richards is also mid-price.
Yep.
He's up there for ownership. So, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it's going to be tough to pick a center tonight.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we were at Houston and Golden State, 10 p.m. Eastern. Golden State is favored by 10 as a 230.5 over/under. We've got Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. both out for Houston. And then Iguodala looks like he's questionable. Curry, Peyton Jr., and Wiggins are out. And then Draymond Green is now questionable. For Houston, you've got Ty Washington, Josh Christopher, Kenyon Martin Jr., Jabari Smith, Alperen Sengun. And then for the Warriors, Poole, Thompson, DiVincenzo, Draymond if he plays, and Kevon Looney. This game I actually had, quite a bit more invested into it. I do like Ty Washington. I do like Josh Christopher just because of their pricing, especially on DraftKings and Yahoo. They're both min price on Yahoo and near it on DraftKings. Christopher's only 3,300 and then Ty is 3,000. So those guys I do like. Golden State's allowed the fourth most fantasy points to point guard, so it's been a good spot to target. And then Jordan Poole, I think a lot of people were let down by him last night, but Houston, they've allowed the most, fantasy points to point guards. They're back at home. I just think it's a really good spot for him. And the same thing for Klay Thompson. Klay had 58.5 DraftKings points on November 20th when he faced Houston at home. So I do like him as well. Besides those four plays, anybody else that stands out? I guess you said JaMychal Green if Draymond's out, but
yeah, possibly just at his min salary. Jordan Poole, it's just, I had him on my list just at 8,300.
It's expensive. Yeah.
It is expensive. Now, it is a high scoring game, and I don't really expect a lot from this backcourt on Houston. So the question is, do they cut back on minutes? That's my only concern is that with Poole and Klay, they just say, hey, we're only going to play 25 minutes because it's going to be a blowout, and we'll play, Ty Jerome.
True.
Jerome played a lot of minutes last night and played well. So, that's an interesting strategy too, as you go more for the guys who you think are going to get more minutes on Golden State. Jerome is he's 4,400 on FanDuel, but on DK he's 3,600. I don't know, but Klay would be my pick of the two between Klay and Poole. But I just don't think I'm going to throw the money at this game because I don't want to play that many guys from this game, and there's so much value.
Yeah.
So I like Tai Tai, I like Shingun, I like Kuminga. I don't mind DiVincenzo, to be honest, either. And then, like I said, if you want to go a level deeper and get to somebody like a Ty Jerome possibly. So it's I mean, even honestly, even KJ Martin is a decent one there too. So a lot of guys in this. I'll end up with for sure 3 guys, maybe even 4.
Right. Right. Yeah, definitely. And it's true. I mean, Steve Kerr is notorious for resting players on the second night of a back-to-back. So if we get news all of a sudden that Poole and Thompson and all these guys are going to be out, that wouldn't surprise me one bit. So
yeah, good point.
For sure. All right, so now we go to Phoenix. Assuming with how you're feeling, you're probably not going to be going to this game tonight, correct?
Not this one, no. And it's funny because I actually am excited to see Durant playing, but I don't have tickets to another game for a couple of weeks. So.
Well, okay, yeah. Is it Wednesday? I think he's supposed to play.
Yeah, on the road next Wednesday. So
next Wednesday.
Then it'll be So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I thought wasn't SGA ruled out? I thought I saw that.
He's questionable.
Okay, so he hasn't been ruled out officially then. I was thinking he was out. All right, so we have SGA's questionable, Pokusevski's still out, and then as we mentioned, Durant's still out for Phoenix, and then Shamet, and then I don't think Cameron Payne's supposed to play, is he?
No, not yet.
So, yeah. So we've got, if he plays, we've got SGA, then Giddey, Dort, and both Jalen Williams. And then for Phoenix, Paul Booker, Okogie, Craig, and Ayton.
I have to say, people love Okogie. I don't know. It's funny. I have not gotten on the Okogie bandwagon that much. And he's been unreal. I mean, watching him earlier in the year, I was just like, oh my God, this guy can't, hit the side of a barn. But his other stats are just unbelievable. And like, he's thrown up a 70 burger a couple of times. Which is just unbelievable. So I think people keep going for gold there. I think with Booker back, it's less likely, but he is starting. And, if he gets 30 minutes, he can. I mean, he's been hitting value every night. So, tough to stay away from him, I guess, at this point.
It really is. And he's getting a lot of ownership again, too.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I also like, I like Ayton. I think he's in a smash spot, but he's priced up really high. I never like taking Ayton over 8,000, and that's where he's at. So he probably won't be my center choice tonight. But if Shea sits, I like Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul can take Trey Mann and kind of show him show the young guy how it's done.
For sure.
I think his price is fair, particularly for cash games. I like him. And then I'd probably go and I'd play Trey Mann too at like dead min on the other side. That's only if Shea sits.
How do you feel about Booker tonight?
Yeah, I mean, OKC's defense is not bad. Booker, his price has come down a bit. He's fair at, on DraftKings 8,700. He's way too expensive for me on FanDuel. So maybe DraftKings, but probably not my favorite play tonight.
Yeah. He had, I looked this up. He had 61.3 DraftKings points against OKC exactly a year ago today. So
there you go.
February 24th, 2022.
It's definitely the kind of team that he could blow out against. He hasn't had one of those games since he's been back. So
True.
It could be due with the, resting the All-Star break. But I probably want to see him getting a little bit more into the groove first.
Yeah, and I would definitely want to make sure that SGA is going to play, because if he doesn't play, I think this game's going to get out of hand. So
yeah. Good point.
I mean, they're favored by 8, but that's with SGA possibly playing. If he's ruled out, it's going to be a double digit,
Yeah, that's a great point. Yep.
All right, so last game of the night is 10:30 p.m. Eastern. The Sacramento Kings at the Los Angeles Clippers. Sacramento, the only player they have is Okpala, and then Zubats is also out. So that's where the Plumlee play comes into place, I'm guessing.
Roll out Plumlee, exactly.
When he told me Plumlee on the thumbnail, I was like, what? And then I saw Zubats was out. And like, oh, okay, yeah. I should have known. I should have trusted Deb's expertise on that one. So we've got Fox, Herter, Barnes, Murray, and Sabonis for the Kings. Westbrook is the debut with the Clippers. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris, and Mason Plumlee. I won't be playing Westbrook tonight. I respect De'Aaron Fox's defense. I know it's his debut and everything else, but it's hard for me to trust that guy right now. So
yeah, I know. It'll be interesting. I'm super interested. I mean, either Clippers made like the best move at the trade deadline or the worst move. We'll see. I mean, he's a cancer, but he has played with Paul George, and he was vouching for him. And I know he met with Kawhi. Like, I'm sure those guys are taking it seriously. I mean, honestly, he could. I don't think he'll start. I don't know. They have him starting. Maybe he will. I guess so. Actually, I mean, who are you going to see? Going to start? Man, probably not. So.
Yeah, probably not. They traded Reggie Jackson, or they cut him. So
right, they have Bones, but Bones is more of a backup. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, if they start him, how many minutes is he going to get? I don't think he's going to get a ton of minutes tonight, but we'll see. He's in shape.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting if he can change his style for this team.
For sure.
I'm going to be fascinated to watch, but I do expect Plumlee to be getting a lot of sweet, passes to the inside, and he's going to be smashing value. So
yeah. Do you like which of the two between George and Leonard do you like the most? I know George's price keeps coming down.
Yeah. So I like George better just because of the price differential. The only thing for me though, and I did really like him until it looked like I thought Westbrook was going to come off the bench, but if Westbrook's starting, it's a lot of mouths to feed, and we know, Westbrook can be a bit of a ball hog. So I'm not sure I want to see how this plays out. I may not go after any of them tonight.
Okay. I don't blame you at all. And then the Plumlee play, obviously you're liking that tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And on the other side, pricing, I mean, I totally respect the Clippers defense. De'Aaron Fox, like at 9,400, has gotten really high. He's 9,000 on DK. You could argue Sabonis, I guess, against the Plumlee defense, but I'm not gonna spend up on that side of the ball either. Possibly a Harrison Barnes, just given his pricing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you say he's like 4,600 now or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really cheap. That's really cheap for him.
For a guy who's going to get like 33 to 35 minutes,
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we're going to vote on which site they want us to do the GPP lineup on here. See what everybody's like. FanDuel 2 votes so far.
Oh, got a lot of FanDuels.
All right, while we're looking at that, I'm going to look at PrizePicks. I already had one play that I'm probably not going to like playing now. That's going to be Sengun. I had the less than on his PRA.
What's the number?
33.5. And he's really struggled to come anywhere near that in the past. But if Draymond's out, that's going to change a lot.
Yeah.
I
mean, fortunately, he doesn't really have. I mean, honestly, with the lineup that they have, the ball might be in his hands. Like he might get 13 assists tonight.
Mm-hmm. True.
All right.
Then I've got that Drew Holiday play too, so that could get screwed up if Giannis plays. That's
I know.
All right. So I've got. Man, this changes a lot. Let's see if they didn't have Plumlee on here earlier, so now they do. Okay. 28 fantasy score. I feel like you can get over that.
Yeah.
I'll take the more than on that. Mason Plumlee 28 fantasy score, and I will take.
What's trying to look at what's Bridges at? Or a Kongwu. What's a Kongwu at?
Kongwu. Let's see what he's at. Kongwu is not on the board. All right, let's see.
How about Hart?
Bridges. Who?
Hart.
Oh, Hart. Yeah. Hart's at Bridges is at 34 fantasy score. Hart
that seems really doable.
Only at 2.5 free throws made. That's the only prop they have for him. So.
Oh, okay.
I
like the Bridges.
Yeah, the Bridges is pretty solid, I think. Let's see what else. Got Spencer Dinwiddie at 32.5. I'll take the over on that.
Okay.
Yeah. So Dinwiddie and Plumlee more than fantasy score. Those would be my 2 prize picks.
King of all trades wants to know top center play. I mean, it really depends on the site, King, but some of the center plays that we called out, certainly the Plumlee one.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a little more value on the center position. I think Şengün we talked about is a little more expensive.
Yeah, if Draymond's out. Yeah.
Yep.
Okongwu.
And we talked about Okongwu, exactly. I think Kuminga actually qualifies as center, at least on DK.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
I
think he's a small forward on FanDuel. So
I know, crazy, right?
Yeah.
So those are probably our top picks.
Yeah, and I would probably throw in Sabonis too against Plumlee. I think that's probably a good matchup for him. All right, so it looks like FanDuel.
Okay.
Yeah, FanDuel's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7. All right, so do you have yours ready to go? Because I'm opening mine up if you want to take the first pick.
I don't, but I can get it. It's just slow. There we go. All right. Okay. All right. So first pick of the draft. Like my favorite play tonight. Let's see. Yeah, see, I want to stay away from Drew now. I don't know.
Yeah, that's.
All right, let's go with. See what Bridge is at on 7,800. A little pricey. Yeah, let's go with Bridges.
Okay.
At shooting guard.
Okay. I was going to take Josh Hart at shooting guard, but I'll move him to small forward.
Okay. What's he priced at? 5,800?
5,800, yeah.
All right. I'm going to go with, let's go with Kuminga's. Let's go with Kuminga at power forward. Oh, no, he's not power forward. On FanDuel, he's not power forward. He's small forward.
Small forward, yeah.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
4,100. Okay. Yeah, we got a lot of salary here because I think I'm going to go with Okogie at shooting guard. So that's 7,300 for 5 positions.
Well, we're going to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So in that case, we'll look at who. In that case, let's go with Sabonis at center.
Okay. Spend a little here. Do you want to go with him at center or power forward?
Actually, let's go power forward. I was just looking at that. Yeah, power forward.
So then we can go with either Plumlee or Okongwu. I think I'm actually going to go with Okongwu for a GPP. I think he's going to be lower owned.
Okay.
Or do you think Plumlee will?
Okongwu is great.
Let me see
on FanDuel though. More of a DK play.
Okay, so he's overpriced on FanDuel, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I think Plumlee's fairly priced.
Yeah, Plumlee's 5,800, so he's only 200 more. So we can go with Plumlee.
Right.
Okay.
All right. If we want to go with let's go with a contrarian play for for point guard here. Let's see.
You take your guy Ty.
Yeah, exactly. I'm for let's go with Conley.
Okay, yeah, that's gonna be lower owned. Ty was getting some ownership.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 76.50. So I can take. I'm gonna trust the Gabe Vincent play again. I'm gonna go back to it, and then you've got 10,000 for power forward.
Gabe Vincent. Okay. Let's see. Who do we have at power forward for 10,000? I guess that lands us Kawhi.
Yeah, or we can go
Kawhi's ownership. Let's see. Let's see what Kawhi's ownership is. If it's low, I like it. If it's high,
yeah, I don't know what his ownership is.
see.
Actually, I'm gonna make a change here.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to
Kawhi's ownership is really low. It's only 2%.
Oh wow! I'll say I'm gonna go to Dinwiddie at point guard instead.
Okay.
That gives you enough for Kuzma, Allen, Mobley, Washington.
All right, let's go Allen.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
You want to go with Allen over Mobley? I know we talked about Mobley quite a bit.
Yeah, I kind of feel like those guys switch back and forth. Yeah, let's go with Mobley. Sure, why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really feel strong
Yeah,
about it.
I don't feel that strongly actually. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got Conley, Dinwiddie, Bridges, Okogie, Hart, Kuminga, Sabonis, Mobley, and Plumlee. It's really pretty balanced lineup.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like it. Cool.
So, all righty. Well, I guess let's see if anybody has any other questions. Yeah, Westbrook will be hungry to stick it to the Lakers, but they're playing the Kings tonight. So,
All right, cool.
I don't know if they play anytime soon. Do you know by chance if the Clippers play the Lakers?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. Anything?
Doug L, thoughts on Cam Thomas? Yeah, I mean, he's coming off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
I think he sort of had his day. I don't see anything
that
spectacular coming from him.
Yeah, with Bridges and Johnson, he hasn't been getting anywhere near the minutes.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah.
Josh Christopher, hey, Wolf Warner. Like the name. Josh Christopher, yeah, no, he's definitely in consideration. I mean, he's just so cheap. He's going to get the minutes. He's going to be hitting his shots. He's very shot dependent. So that's why I was leaning towards Ty.
Yeah, I agree.
Looks like Travis just joined us at the very end, so that's good.
Oh, Travis Wyndham?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, nice crew today.
Yeah, that is everything. Took a little bit longer than I think I wanted to. I tried to really beat Coach up on those times.
I know. Sorry, that was me.
No, it's okay. It's all good. It's all good. We both, went more in depth on these games. So
yeah, we haven't been, we haven't been chatting for a while. So
yeah, it's been a while for sure. So we got to get back into the groove.
Awesome.
All right. Well, hope everybody has a great night. We are going to absolutely crush it tonight. And I think Coach is up tomorrow as we look to crush it in NBA DFS and PrizePicks. Thank you.
Thank you.